لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Jama'a assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Allah yayi lokaci ya kawo mu na aikin haji a wannan shekara ta 2023. Aikin haji ibada ce ga duk wanda Allah ya ba iko ziyartar gida mai alfarma a rayuwar mutum. Al'ummar duk duniya kan so ziyartar domin kaddamar da ibada bisa umarnin Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don haka hukumar gidan rediyo ta 'yan ƙasa watan Citizen FM tana farin ciki kawo muku shiri mai take daga mahajjata kai tsaye a kowace rana daga karfe 8:30 na safe a mita 93.7 a zangon FM cikin wannan shiri a nan Abuja da kewaye. A yi sauraro lafiya.
Innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وصلى الله على سيدنا مصطفى وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Our dear respected listeners all over the world and here in Abuja and its environment, we bring you greetings from this special program called Guest of Allah. Guest of Allah is a program initiated by the Peace Magazine and in conjunction with the Citizen FM Abuja. And it's a program that's brought to you to enlighten our listeners and also our viewers to know that people that are ready to go for this year's Hajj and the activities that are going to take place in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia since they are taking off and they are coming back. Inshallah, this program will be has been accommodated with a lot of guests from the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and other various of people who knows the experience or have the experience over the years on Hajj matters. And inshallah, today is another special day that we are bringing one of our brother who is a medical doctor and who shall be telling us about the plans that they have on ground for our programs here in Nigeria to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. My name is Abubakar Sadiq Aliu Kafanchan. I will be standing on behalf of Barisa Sheikh Abdul Rahman today, inshallah, because he has a national assignment which is presently ongoing. But inshallah, by tomorrow next week, Barista will be with us and the program will take charge in full. Just as you know, stay tuned as we come to your way as we bring in our guest, the doctor in the house.
لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. With me today in the studio is our brother Dr. Saidu Ahmed Dumbulwa. Dr. Said Ahmed Dumbulwa is the National Program Manager National Emergency Medical Services and Ambulance System, NIMSAS, of the Ministry of Health here in the Federal Capital Territory. And also, he is the Honorable Commissioner in charge of health of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, in charge of this year 2023 Hajj operation. Brother, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. Nice being with you today.
Alhamdulillah. Thanks for honoring our invitation. And as you know, we discussed that this program today, we want to talk about the health, because it is one of the important criteria stipulated by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that whoever Allah has provided the opportunity to go to Hajj, you must have the following criteria. One, you have the money, and two, which is very key, they say you must be in a very good health condition. And now a lot of people have been in Saudi Arabia, and we are still expecting more to take off in a few days coming. Now, doctor, tell us about your primary assignment of the National Program Manager.
All right. Thank you very much, Abubakar. I'm Dr. Saidu Ahmed Dumbulwa. I'm first of all a medical doctor, a public health specialist, and an expert in medical emergency, and also an expert on geriatric care, that is elderly care.
No.
I am the National Program Manager, as you rightly said, of the National Emergency Medical Service and Ambulance System in the country. It's an innovative program that is aimed to address a missing link in the Nigerian health sector.
Yeah.
Unlike before, if you go to the overseas, to some of the advanced countries, or even some of the neighboring countries like Morocco or South Africa, if you call a toll-free number, for instance, maybe 911, 121, as the case may be, before you realize, an ambulance will be in front of your door and you'll be picked, or at the scene of an accident, you'll be picked and also taken to the nearest and appropriate health facility. And you'll be treated at no cost. So we felt that the federal government has been investing vertically and horizontal for decades. The health investment is not worthwhile because the indices were not improving. And that's, we felt in the Ministry of Health, what is the reason why these indices are not improving despite all the health investment? Then we identified the missing link as this provision of medical emergency and ambulance system, whereby we have a pool of ambulance in the country, but the coordination is not there. So we have to we unlock that private health sector potential by bringing all the private health sector, ambulances in the private health sector, the public health sector. We signed MOU with Federal Road Safety, you understand, as we roll out in the FCT last year, October, we signed MOU with the Federal Road Safety. Now, if you see a road safety ambulance station wherever it is, especially in FCT that we have rolled out, in Anambra State we roll out, in Yobe State we roll out, and we continue with other states. If you call a number 112, an ambulance will actually be dispatched, and that ambulance can be a private ambulance, maybe a Cedar Crest ambulance, as the case of Abuja, which is one of the tertiary private hospital. Or it could be a national hospital, Gwagwalada, SME Jabi, or any of the private appropriate or a road safety ambulance. That ambulance will be mobilized, dispatched to go and pick a patient from wherever it is and take it to another accredited health facility by us, and that person will be treated for the first 48 hours at no cost to that patient. So that is the new program, and we have commenced it. We have this, and who is going to pay? You are going to ask me.
Yes,
that the payment is coming from the federal government. Allocation 1% of the consolidated revenue has been allocated to the health sector. 5% of that money has been actually been given for this medical emergency treatment and ambulance system. And it's like a Uber ambulance. Even you, Abubakar, can actually register an ambulance called Kafanchan Ambulance Services. And now, before you realize, we actually register you, and you'll be actually providing ambulance services, and you'll be getting money. So it has many ramifications. It has the economic aspect of it by actually unlocking the private health sector potential, creating jobs, stimulating the economy again by actually, you have an Uber ambulance, you go and pick a patient, you pay, you create jobs, you actually stimulate the economy. So it's another way of actually turning around the system as a whole. It's a new innovation, and it's meant to save lives, especially the lives of the poor and the vulnerable levels in the Nigeria. It's not only in the urban area. We have a scheme called RAS, Rural Ambulance Services, whereby the KK ambulance is also stationed in the nearby villages. And that village, for instance, if you go to Takum also, Takum, Taraba State, Takum, the town, if you go, they have a KK ambulance. Their KK ambulance, they have a number. If you call that number, if you are pregnant, that ambulance, a KK ambulance will go and pick you from home, bring you to the general
accredited hospital.
It's a dedicated. It was built by T.Y. Danjuma Foundation.
Okay.
You understand? He's managing it. We're working with them, and that is a typical of a rural ambulance services a scheme that we're actually going to replicate in many of the states. And the World Bank is also planning to support this system.
Hold on there, doctor. You are saying something that even myself, I'm so shocked to hear all this coming from you, despite the fact that we are not discussing in that direction, but we have a specific a direction that we are to chip in for today's program. But however, I would love to ask question based on all what you have just said in respect of your jurisdiction as the National Program Manager in NIMSAS. But having said that, I know Nigerians are listening to us right now. I want you Nigeria, you listening to us right now, to call. Maybe you have one way or the other monitor or notice such kind of an ambulance that doctor is talking about. Please call us in our number that we can give later, so that you can testify if something is really on ground, so that we can give kudos to doctor here and the management in charge of this health facility. Having said that, Honorable Commissioner in charge of health of National Hajj Commission of Nigeria in this year's 2023 Hajj operation. Now, our Nigerians, male and female, and some are in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria put you in charge as a commissioner in charge of health. What are the plans do you have in terms of health-related matters to our citizens in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Thank you very much, Abubakar. And first of all, my greeting goes to the head of our affair, that is the chairman of the NACON, the barrister Zikrullah, and the chairman of the medical committee, the Imam Suleiman, the Tokobi of Auchi, for the cooperation first given to us to see how we are going to actually unfold this standard that's actually been mandated by us, by the ministry, to actually come, and it's based on our experience in the previous Hajj. Our Hajj, if you look at it from a larger or a more modern perspective, if I can put it that way, is that it's somehow the program or the operation is segmented. I segmented in the following way. One, as a pre-Hajj activities.
Okay.
The pre-Hajj activity also, it has onshore and offshore. The pre-Hajj activity, that is the first one, onshore and offshore, and the second segment of it is pre-Arafat activity and post-Arafat activity and the post-Hajj activities. So these are the thematic areas or thematic segment of the health activities that we actually embark on.
Okay.
Coming from the first one, that is the pre-Hajj onshore activity. First of all, we have also items to do in terms of the manpower, the medical personnel, in terms of the accommodation of the personnel, in terms of the movement of the personnel, in terms of the welfare of the personnel, in terms of the screening of the personnel. You understand? These are the parameters we actually put in place first. That is, now the personnel are their own bargaining power. They are actually the full soldiers, and thereafter we say, okay, what is the next thing?
Before you go on to what are the next thing, you've been talk about the personnel. How many numbers of personnel the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria allocated to you?
You see, the allocation of the health personnel goes with actually guidelines. Guidelines which is in line with the WHO standard. And based on that, the National Hajj Commission graciously approved the actual recruitment of doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and public health officers, such as emergency environmental health officers, community health officers, about 300 of them. And that is based on criteria, merit. you understand, criteria, and a screening was conducted, and that screening will actually ensure that this person or this person is fit.
Okay.
You understand? One is qualified, licensed at that moment of the screening for him to be eligible to actually be part of that national medical team at the moment.
Okay, now saying this number, looking at the numbers slots given by Nigeria and by the Saudi Hajj Authority, we're having 95,000 Nigerians, and we just have only 300 numbers of doctors. Don't you say this is so very limit?
No. It is not, because what is it? There's what is called a basic care or basic primary care. That's exactly what's going to be given. Because if there is a complication, you understand, you have to refer. You understand? What we're going to be given there is a kind of a basic emergency care and ambulance services support or medical transport. You understand? But if a condition warrants the person to move, you understand, maybe after resuscitation, observation, we felt like this person needs to be referred. At the moment, we have almost 50 people who have been referred to some of the Saudi hospital for proper treatment and admission. We have over 5 patient pilgrims who are on admission, and we have about 50 who have been referred to the hospitals in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we have attended to over nearly 30,000 pilgrims have received drugs here and there. You understand? So we are doing a great job, and the operation there is actually, we have somebody who is Dr. Galadima is over and doing also is actually overseeing the operations under my my own overall supervision, which I report back to the chairman of the medical committee. And so we're doing very well as a team.
Okay, now, as a doctor, can you confirm to us, Nigerians, that this number allotted to you, this medical doctor's number allotted to you, are okay for Nigerians?
Yeah, you see, the word okay is a relative term. We go with what WHO standard says. You understand? What we have at the moment now, just imagine, say, all right, in Abuja, you understand, you have you station 100,000 people in Gwagwalada, and you take 300 people, health personnel comprising of doctors, nurses, and pharmacists. What kind of a cluster or kind of a cohort have you established? Fantastic. You understand? It's superb. You understand? Because you have look at it from that perspective of WHO standard. You understand? You look at it, you understand what's going to be the ratio. It's a significant ratio. You understand? And we're very pleased with it.
Okay, so Alhamdulillah. Maybe we'll touch that in our next appearance when we give you another invitation to come and give us update. But having said that, you mentioned about Dr. Galadima, who is currently, is it in Nigeria or
No. Galadima is currently now working. He's now in Makkah. Actually, he's part of the advanced team.
Okay.
Yeah, he's working with me.
Okay, we may be having a live update from there in our program coming off in the maybe by next week. Call it the Gamahajata. We would love to know the details and the health well-being of our citizen, because they are our major concern. That is why this program is brought up by the Citizen and the Peace Magazine to get daily update from our Nigerians who are in another man's country, that is Saudi Arabia, performing Hajj, so that all of us, our mind will be at rest. Now, going ahead with this number, you are talking about the plans that the medical doctor have. What are the first plan you have in giving health related matters to our citizen?
Okay, you see, what is important in the medical practice, first of all, is prevention. If you don't actually lay out all the conditionality that is expected of you to do, you understand, in a bid to actually curtail the unforeseen medical circumstances, you understand, then you are doomed to fail. So we feel it is important to actually think critically to actually lay out a preventive measures or precautionary measures. What is key now is that over the years, for the last decades, if you can put it that way, that we know that to travel to take pilgrims from Nigeria to Saudi is apparently 4 to 5 hours.
Now,
you understand? That has been the standard, and that's what the airlines have been actually bargain even with the knock-on. Fortunately, unfortunately, something just erupted out of nowhere. That a war in Sudan, and that actually mandated them. It make them mandatory. Rather, it caused a compulsory diversion of the routes of the airlines.
Which added more hours.
More hours. In terms of four
From
and a half
4 to
hours,
4?
maybe to 7.5 hours, if not
Or 8.
hours. You understand?
No.
So now look at it from that scientific point of view or health point. We in the medical practice, we felt that there's going to be a problem. Scientifically, it has been proven that for people who are over 50 years and above, if you are going to sit down in a flight for more than 4 hours duration, you understand, there's a tendency for that person, 1 out of 600, to develop what is called thromboembolic disorders, which actually present with a deep venous thrombosis. What I mean by that is that if somebody sit and a pilgrim sit in a on board in a flight for more than 4 hours,
4 hours,
1 out of 600 of them, one is likely to develop deep venous thrombosis, that blood clots in a vein. A vein is a pipe that brings the blood back to the heart.
Okay.
So once that blood,
then it will stop circulation.
it will block circulation.
Okay.
You understand? Or it will slow circulation. One, if it slows circulation, what will happen? There will be a depression of oxygen supply to the brain. Somebody will have problems. Once there is no
Feeling
blood
dizzy.
supply, no blood food to the brain, no oxygen to the brain, there will be a problem. Or if the blood is fully clotted, there will be total blockage.
No.
You understand?
No.
Or the blood is clotted, but later is actually being embolized. That means detached.
Detached.
When it is detached, it goes back, it flows through the vein, and ultimately gets blocked, maybe in the heart, or maybe in the lungs, or in the brain. Then we have an issue about stroke. You understand? They say, somebody is just coming from the Saudi Arabia and he dropped dead, or he dropped unconscious. You understand? So we are mindful of that, and we actually came up with a strategy on how to address that one.
Okay.
One, if there's going to be a flight, we have to ensure that there's a doctor inside or a health personnel.
Oh, and each flight.
Each flight.
Mashallah.
And that is one.
Mashallah.
And two, we have actually shared a kind of a refresher or flyer, if I can put it that way, to all the medical personnel. We have a platform of actually educating ourselves.
Okay.
So that they themselves will actually be reminded, look, you have a problem at hand. There's a possibility for you to have a patient on board, and when it happens, what are the likely things? It could be a urine retention for elderly people, because the Saudi Arabia have waived age limit. Before, during COVID, say no, if you are more than 60
you can't go.
Now even you are 60, 70, 80, you can go.
Really?
So people with 50, 60, 70 go, as 50, 60, 70 going, they may have a problem of what? Either maybe deep venous thrombosis, or maybe urine retention, in the bladder. So all these things can cause problems. So we have actually trained them. And also another thing that we have done is that our health workers who are actually at the receiving end at the airport, we're able to actually educate them, sensitize them that these people are new people. They are not used to actually traveling with airlines, and now they're going to be there for like 7-8 hours, and on arrival, their demeanor will change, their behavior, exhaustion.
They will be exhausted.
The exhaustion will be there, one, and also reorientation is there. Also, they'll be confused. So there will be high irritability. So their ability to address them, with humility, to actually comfort them, will help a lot. It will contribute in knowledge tremendously in actually trying to make them do what is necessary for them to save the lives.
That is number one.
The lives of the pilgrims is a task we must do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that is number one. Doctor, we'll still come back to that, so that we'll know how you people under your watch, the doctors, relate to our elder statesmen who are aged. Some people in their age, it depends. There are ways you related to them. In terms of giving them drugs. I remember 2016 or 17, I went for Hajj. They gave us a drug. Immediately we came down from the airport, and some people could not even take the drug. They are watching it. So, is it mandatory for anyone that landed in Saudi Arabia airport before moving into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? Is it mandatory for them to take that drugs, or what are the new system you people generate in giving them this time around? So let us come back on a break, then we'll continue from there. Thank you. aikin hajji ibada ce ga duk wanda Allah ya ba ikon ziyartar gida mai alfarma a rayuwar mutum. Al'ummar duk duniya kan so ziyartar domin kaddamar da ibada bisa umarnin Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don haka hukumar gidan rediyo ta 'yan ƙasa watan Citizen FM tana farin ciki kawo muku shiri mai take daga mahajjata kai tsaye a kowace rana daga karfe 8:30 na safe a mita 93.7 a zangon FM. Cikin wannan shiri a nan Abuja da kewaye a yi sauraro lafiya.
Innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak.
To, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Doctor, as we are saying the other time that it is very good that people to be given attention when they landed into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that is the medical health. So what are those measures and what are those things that the doctors that you have already stipulated in that place have to do with them?
Well, before we go on the break, you highlighted the issue of the elderly care. And when I was introducing myself, I said I'm also a geriatric care expert in the country, and I also manage some of the geriatric elderly care in the country. And when I heard about the waiver or the lifting of the age limit, what actually came to my mind is the need to actually develop elderly care concept for health for the pilgrims.
Now,
we have developed, and the chairman has approved.
Alhamdulillah.
Has approved the adoption of the elderly care. You understand, to be integrated into the guidelines of the Hajj operations.
That is the chairman, National Hajj Commission.
The chairman Hajj Commission, because when I came, I actually developed, I thought of it.
Okay.
I developed a elderly care concept, and under the leadership of the chairman of the medical committee, the Imam Suleiman Tokobi of Auti, and it was graciously approved. And we have been mindful of the fact that these people are the group of the people, considering the lifespan of Nigerians, you understand, they are actually more at risk. Most at-risk population, you understand, that we may actually be recording mortality. Even Nigerians, they say, no, I want to go there and die. You know, so God, for him to go and die, that is one thing. But for us to do our own professional thing is another thing. So we have actually developed a concept not on the elderly care and been integrated into the health, and also the people actually the medical team are fully aware of that activity. And also as we go, because being a doctor, that doesn't mean you're a geriatric care expert. You understand, we have to be also updating ourselves, telling you this. For instance, now, you don't expect that if elderly goes to a clinic, immediately he's going to be prioritized. He doesn't need to join a queue.
Now,
you understand?
so you give them special treatment.
Yes, that is all about the elderly care.
Alhamdulillah.
Or if somebody is seated, and elderly, somebody over 60 comes, you have to sit up. You know, you have to stand up, allow him to sit down.
These are the training you give your people.
This is the concept which the chairman has actually approved.
Alhamdulillah.
You understand? And we have to follow to make sure that this is implemented in the clinic.
Alhamdulillah.
And if there is any observation made, they have to revert back to us to tell and sanction our personnel. Why are you not complying with this thing?
Alhamdulillah.
You understand? So this is something, and I'm very sure under the chairman of the committee also, this thing will be fully implemented.
Sheikh Suleiman Momo.
Yeah.
He's a good man. He has been on this program on 2 occasions.
Okay.
Inshallah, we're going to have him back again.
That's good.
But thank you as the Honorable Commissioner in charge of health matters for our programs in this year 2023.
Yeah.
Now, you have been discussed about the first step.
Yeah.
That is first aid you give to the pregnant when they arrive into the city of Mecca.
I understand where you're heading to.
Okay.
You are talking about the issue of giving drugs on arrival.
Yes.
Well, if you look at it in Nigeria, you know, to be honest, at times when you are birthing your child, you can hide the area, the private area of your child. It must be open. You see, most of the times, despite what the ministry has done, with the support, with the tenacious push of the chairman of the medical committee to get drugs for the HIV people, who are going there to get drugs for people with TB. You know, some people may be latent, having the TB latent, you know, not knowing. On there, it actually comes up. So we have all that preparation.
Okay.
Then we are also, in addition to that there is a kind of a statutory vaccination that every pilgrim is supposed to do before you actually arrive. These drugs or vaccines have been classified.
Some you do it here in Nigeria or there?
No, it's done here. The inoculation is done there.
Okay.
And these are actually being classified mandatory and non-mandatory.
Okay.
So, but you know, some Nigerians, they are so, you know, this kind of attitude, say, no, I'm not going to do it. You understand? So, and these people also, they have their own way of finding out things. You understand? You say, we have to procure influenza. They say influenza, we have to do influenza vaccine, because if you go there, you're likely to have respiratory issues. You understand? But the Federal Ministry of Health, through the MPSC, they procure the vaccines, adequate vaccines, to give to all pilgrims. You understand?
No.
CSM, cerebrospinal meningitis vaccine, also procured, is given, allocated, and been distributed to all the states.
Okay.
You understand? And also the issue of yellow fever, also vaccines. But at times, some of our pilgrims, you understand, they don't do it. They don't do the vaccines. You understand?
And they will get access to Saudi Arabia?
I don't know how they manage to do it. How they manage to get the yellow card. You understand? They do it by proxy. Sorry to say that.
Okay.
You understand? So maybe because of their own report and other things, they felt there is nothing wrong in you, in giving you precautions, preventive measures. On arrival, they give you a wand or oral polio vaccine for you. They're protecting you. You understand? If you have not done it, they give you, or maybe they give you influenza, you know, you take it one, they are protecting you. Or they give you maybe antibiotic, they are protecting you. So it's not something to actually say that, no, we don't want to do it. You understand? There's nothing wrong in it. You understand? And we are very supportive. We are cooperating with them. And this is a very good thing. They are doing something to save our lives.
Okay.
But we need to know that it's better you do it before you go.
Okay.
And that's the best way to do it.
Okay, Doctor, thank you very much for enlightening us with this information. They say information is key. Now, the area I want you to tell us now is, you've been mentioned about if anyone is fall down with sickness and the first aid has been taken, then there's something you call a referral, right? They refer it to another hospital. Now, my question is, who pay the bills of the hospital?
Thank you very much. You know, Saudi government, when they do a referral, you understand, as I told you earlier, in most of the advanced country, when it comes to the issue of emergencies, do you understand?
No.
Emergency or medical transport for a couple of few days, you understand, that they take care of that. Most of the countries, and Saudi is also inclusive. So when you do referral, you understand, and the person is Hajj, is a pilgrim, you understand, automatically they will receive him and they will treat him, and they will treat him. The treatment is going to be free.
Free?
Yeah, in the Saudi Arabia, that's what they do. You understand? Unless they have changed it this year, but that has been the tradition, and up to this moment, how people are actually being referred. However, the treatment, the Nigerian Hajj Commission usually we have our clinics. We have almost 5 clinics in the hospital in the Medina and Mecca, and we have 3 in Medina. And this also we are equipped with our own medical, all that is needed. You understand? We can admit you for a couple of, maybe for observation or other things, and also we have our doctors. We give you drugs. You understand? We actually give you some fluids. Is there is indication? And when we realize there's real indication for a thorough or extensive investigation, do you understand, to save the life of that pilgrim, then it become very it's clear, then that person has to be referred, and that referral, we just fill the referral form and that person will be taken. And when he's going with our ambulance, the Nakon ambulance that we have, and on arrival is going with a referral. You know, a referral with a summary. You understand? Usually accommodated either with a nurse or health personnel on arriving that this is Nigerian pilgrims, you're coming with so problems, and this is what we have done, and now we're handing over for further investigation and management, or management and investigation.
Okay.
You understand? That's what we do, and we're happy up to this moment. We have not recorded any mortality. There's no mortality. Yeah, despite I told you we have people who are over 60 years of age, but yet we are okay. We are on top of it.
So Alhamdulillah, thank you very much, Doctor, for that update, and we want to use this moment to appreciate the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria under the leadership of Barrister Zikirullah Kule Hassan and his commissioner that are doing tremendously well for now. But they say there is this proverb that says in Hausa that basam machituba say miya yakari. But that is to say that we are still going to continue watching and monitoring and giving Nigerians update on daily basis as we are expecting the last flight to take off, maybe sometime somewhere this week or next week, inshallah. So from there we are going to do the detail. But now, being the commissioner in charge of health, you have hospital in Mecca.
Yeah, hospitals.
You have clinics in Mecca, and you have in Medina.
Yeah.
So what provision have you make in Muna?
Yeah, in Muna we do basic support, basic care support, because usually in Muna, if you have been there before, you realize there are a lot of ambulances, and you understand, and these ambulances, they give emergency care. They give what? Emergency care.
Okay.
But each of the tent at the state level, they have their medical people, they have their own drugs, and they know who they are. You understand? If there is a problem, they first of all reach out to their own medical personnel in their own tents. I understand. Or if it is an icon tent, it is a state pilgrims tent, and those medical personnel, you understand? Because this medical personnel, some are from the states. It's a comprehensive, that the one I told you, numbers I told you.
No.
So they will attend to them, and if there is indication, you realize you hardly see a street in that Muna that you don't see an ambulance.
Wow.
You understand?
Okay.
So the ambulance are well stationed and very strategic, ready to go, and they'll just be highlighted, and they will pick the patient, and there's also a hospital there in Muna where the patient will be attended to.
Okay. So thank you very much, Doctor. Doctor, in Muzalifa and Arafat, do we still have sort kind of provision on them?
Yeah, you see, in Arafat, you understand, it's like kind of a transition. You go in the morning, you understand, you leave in the evening. You understand, it's like kind of a going in and come out.
Okay.
In and out. So still, the medical personnel also, you understand, actually go with the pilgrims. If there's indication, say, it's just like also the ulamas, they also go there. The ulamas are there to be preaching that this is what you are supposed to be doing. You understand? And they are purposely there to do that. You understand? So we are also there purposely for that. You understand? So you have to be there. If you are there as a doctor, you must be seen to be working as a doctor. You understand? And whether it is in Arafat or Muzdalifah, in the morning, in the night, in the car, or wherever you are a doctor, and you're being paid for that. So you have to attend to the pilgrim, you understand, to save the lives.
One serious area again that we are looking at is the Jamarat, where a lot of people troop in to go for the Jamarat for 1, 2, 3 days. What are your plans in that regard?
Well, if you look at it from the medical perspective, this is all about crowd management.
Yes.
When you're talking about crowd management, it's a kind of a strategic activity or strategic plan, you understand, to curb stampede of people coming together, you understand, that actually result to casualty or even to mortality, you understand. I think if you go back a decade or 2 decades back, the jumps are now, it has actually been put in layers. In first layer, second, kind of a level by level. First floor, second floor, third floor, in that, you understand? So if you are actually going there, which I know we have a pilgrim assistant who are actually putting them through, say, please, if you are going and they are going today, and if they are going, at the same time also they have their state medical personnel. You understand? They are also going, they're embedded in them.
In fact, that is the area I want to hear. That is the area Nigeria wants to hear.
They are embedded right inside. You understand? The pilgrims, you understand? So they have to move with them, and if the medical personnel, the head of medical team of the state realize that this person is elderly, he has to go and tell them, sir, Mama, if you are going with this, you need a pilgrim aid.
No.
You understand? Somebody is going to assist, or you're going to actually put in a wheelchair to push. You understand? Or somebody to support. You understand? Or to hold a stick or whatever kind of a support. Because one of the issues related with elderly people is falls. They easily fall, and when they fall, they may usually actually get fractured. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. There is one area I would love you also talked about, but when we come back for this little break, inshallah, we shall take it up from there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatu. Allah ya yi lokaci ya kawo mu na aikin haji a wannan shekara ta 2023. Aikin haji ibada ce ga duk wanda Allah ya ba iko ziyartar gida mai alfarma a rayuwar mutum. Al'ummar duk duniya kan so ziyartar domin kaddamar da ibada bisa umarnin Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don haka hukumar gidan rediyo ta 'yan ƙasa watan Citizen FM tana farin ciki kawo muku shiri mai take daga mahajjata kai tsaye a kowace rana daga karfe 8:30 na safe a mita 93.7 a zangon FM. Cikin wannan shiri a nan Abuja da kewaye, a yi sauraro lafiya.
Innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik.
All right, well, welcome back, Doctor. We are discussing about the medical aspects of the pilgrims that are going to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And now you have given us the details and some information. We have a lot of questions to ask you, but looking at the time, we just have only just 10 minutes to go. Now, the weather in Saudi Arabia, as we speak, is so very, very high. Maybe you can advise our programs who are there currently and who are ready to take off within today or tomorrow or next. What are the precaution measures they need to take?
Yeah, as I told you earlier,
sorry,
the issue of the elderly, the issue of long distance travel, and the issue of exhaustion, heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So what we advise already, also we have a plan on that. We have actually developed flyers, and that flyers have been translated to Yoruba and Hausa also, and we're also talking to people, social media, sharing it, following the approval of the chairman medical committee. Okay. But what's basically is that we are advised for people to know that you must stay hydrated. Hydrated means you have to make sure that you take a lot of water.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
You must also wear appropriate clothing. Appropriate clothing means you don't go and put a black clothes, because black clothes actually attract heat to your body. You wear a loose clothes, you understand, so that is very light. You understand? And also it's important to be staying cool indoors.
Okay.
If you are not going for anything, be in your room. Indoors usually there are ACs there, or in the haram. Also, if you enter the haram, the masjid, there is also AC. Unless you want to do tawaf. And if you are elderly, usually during afternoon, it's not advisable to go for the tawaf, because the temperature is very high now, more than 40 degrees. So you understand. And if you really want to do in the afternoon, then also there is a place you can do the tawaf.
Okay.
You can do the tawaf, but yet it is covered. You understand? So it is important to do that one also, and you also know how to schedule your outdoor activities. That's when to go for tawaf and so on, and so on and so forth. And it's important also to wear socks.
Okay.
Maybe socks, or maybe take an umbrella. Especially when you're going for the Arafat, you wear socks, wear umbrella. You understand? And some also. Make sure you wear some kind of a face mask and other things for the infections. And this is mainly the issue, what I can actually advise and monitor, especially if you're at risk.
Okay.
If you are elderly, or you are more than 50 years of age, or you have issue with your health, maybe you are diabetic, you have hypertension, you don't need to be exhausted. If you are exhausted, you are diabetic, you are hypertensive, then you know there will be a problem.
Okay.
You understand? So this is basically, but all this that I have said, we have actually put it together, and we have translated it, and we actually issued it to in the social media, and also we are sharing in the NACON, and they are doing their best also to make sure that this thing is translated in a bit to make sure that everybody that is supposed to hear and understand actually has reached him.
On that note, you are going to give us in this program advert to that effect, so that we'll be enlightening our people that are listening to us on YouTube, on also on Facebook and other social media, and even people that are about to go now, so that we'll be creating this awareness to help them, most especially our Fulani brothers. Fulani brothers, you do this in English, in Yoruba, in Hausa. You understand? Not all of them can read. So what enlightenment can we do to them?
Like me, you know, I'm I speak English because I'm educated, but I am a Hausa man, Hausa Fulani. You understand? I'll be happy to talk to Hausa in Hausa, because I had granted a Voice of America Hausa interview on the same subject matter, trying to make people to understand it. You understand? And I think this is you have there's a cost for justification. For need to do advert to make sure people, the pilgrims, know more about it. You understand? Which is that one is above me. It's at the level of the chairman.
It's not above you.
Yeah, I can only recommend. You understand? I can recommend, but the chairman of the NACON and the chairman of the committee, you understand, and the chairman of the NACON, they are the executive honorable commissioners.
We'll do that one with you, Doctor. We'll do that one so that we'll create more awareness. This program we are doing, you know, we are creating awareness to Nigerians. So please let us work one or two things to see how we can give more information to our people. Thank you for having you. And our time is up. And inshallah, we are going to invite you before you. When are you leaving?
I think I'll go with the last flight.
Okay, we are going to invite you for the very last time before you go, and even after you go, we'll be calling you to get more update on daily basis in our program. Daga Mahajjata, inshallah, will bring you more program.
It's my pleasure.
This is where we wrap it up for today's program. Guest of Allah, initiated by Peace Magazine and the Citizen FM Abuja. We thank you very much for the opportunity. With me here today is Dr. Said Ahmed Dombulwa. Is the National Program Manager in the Ministry of Health here in Abuja, and in extension is the Honorable Commissioner in charge of Health this year's Hajj 2023. Under the watch of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, the Chairman Barrister Kulli Zikirullah Hassan. Until we come to your way tomorrow, we shall be bringing another guest with you tomorrow, and that will be a very wonderful